Well, good afternoon. I'm up at the trap cabin here in the caribou chilcotin. I wanted to make a little video for you guys on how to harvest pine mushrooms. I'm chewing a little bit of rat root. In fact, I chewed it all the way out here. Acorus calamus, sweet flag. I don't think you can eat enough to get its psychoactive effects, but I do notice that it definitely is kind of calming, if you will, and at the same time invigorating. I was reading about it a bit. It was used by First Nations in the prairies, kind of similar to how cocoa was used by the South Americans, like for endurance and suppression of appetite. But anyway, let's flip the. So here's the cabin. I'm doing a deep clean, and I was going to take you for pine mushrooms. I'm just fixing up some solar here, and I found this little. I kind of already kicked it out and discovered it, but there was a bump here in the dirt. And then what do we have here? Like, I don't actually know if this is a pine mushroom yet, but this is how they grow. So, we're going to get into talking all about that soon. But what is this, you know? What do we have here? The heck is this? I gotta smell it here. Sorry about that. Well, that's odd. I don't know what this is. Not a pine mushroom. It's some type of mushroom that grew really compactly, was never able to open. All right. So it was about 10 o'clock last night, and there's a deer in the middle of the road, and it's dead. And this is not a pine mushroom. I do not know what that is. It is some weird misshapen thing. Okay, but that's sort of how pines grow, you're gonna see. So, there's this dead deer. Nobody's dragged it off the highway. It's pitch black. I drive over it. I got just enough clearance in the old truck. And I stop and I'm like, hey, you know, as a trapper, I'm allowed to pick up roadkill and take it back to my trap line to do trappy like things with it. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with this deer because but anyway, I turn around, I feel the deer. It's like it's still warm. I'm like, yeah, it's just been hit. It's still warm. So so I go to load it up into the back of the truck, and I get something on my hand. It doesn't smell very good, and I can't see how buggered up this deer is. And so I go one more time to feel it as I'm loading it in the back of my truck, and sure enough, like, yeah, it's really warm under the armpits. Like, definitely not just like some leftover road warmth from the hot day. It is kind of bloated a little bit, I'm thinking, as I'm driving. Now I've picked it up. Anyway, I get off onto the logging road that comes in here, and I pull up into a little meadow, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the guts out right now because you gotta cool that meat down real fast, right? I'll get the guts out. It takes me half an hour to get up to the cabin from there, and then I'll deal with it, you know, tonight into the wee hours. And I pull out this shitty little pocket knife that I got, and I puncture it, and all this gas and terribleness comes out. I just got my headlights shining on it in a meadow, right? The dog is like, what the hell? I almost threw up. I almost threw up. I was like, I can't do anything with this meat. Like, so anyway, I just left it there. You learn something new every day. And I guess the new thing to learn is if an animal's warm, I could be wrong here, correct me if I'm wrong. Please comment away, tell me what. It's possibly the bacteria and the bloating that was causing the heat in the animal. Like maybe it already was like 6 hours old or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take you out for some pine mushrooms. They grow different here, okay? In the Chilcotin interior, it's dry, sandy pine. Well-draining, sandy, like sand dunes with pine trees. And they grow, you know, you find one that's above the surface and then you go down and you get the ones that are still hiding. They're just little bumps. I don't know. Usually we're kind of like just around the start of the season. Might be a little bit early. Well, hopefully there's something there. There's a million things I'd love to share with you. I got a couple guys coming up, friends of mine from Vancouver Island. We're going up way up into the mountains, way back in there on a big mule deer hunt. So we're all super pumped. They'll be showing up today. I got to go grab a radio with the proper channels in it because I grabbed the wrong one when I came today. So I gotta go do that. I gotta go make a video for you guys on picking pines. It's not just for you, it's for myself too. And yeah, I've done a whole big deep clean of the cabin. Oh, this is super cool. So what I told you, I was chewing on the root of the calamus, the rat root. Acorus calamus is the Latin sweet flag. 13 little plants I was able to separate. I'd stopped in at a swamp in Alberta on my way here, and those will get transplanted out there. This is a sacred, amazing plant for the First Nations. It's good for everything that ails you. Like, literally, that's what it's for. So a nice, big, deep clean in here. We got just a nice low fire going. The oven's on. I picked up a Jamaican beef pie. Got a little dusty in the back of the truck there last night. So this beef pie is going to be dinner. I got a couple of them actually. And got some solar going. The old batteries were toast. Kevin from the wild, Kevin Coswin, gave me a wonderful new charge controller and another new panel and a couple batteries. Everything's hooked up. He gave me a inverter. So thanks, Kevin. Big shout out to Kevin. If you don't follow him, you really should. Kevin Coswin, and From the Wild is his deal. He was up here doing we were filming season 10, episode 10. I don't know. I think it's the next one to come out on his From the Wild series. So we did a whole bunch of super, super cool stuff up here. And this is the back window from a 1975 Chevy Nova. Yeah. And that's some random car window too. I forget the one. Okay, this will turn into way too long of a video, but basically the pack and stuff is pretty dialed in, ready to go. Solar's pretty much dialed in and ready to go. What has to happen here? Oh yeah, this last panel has to be connected into the inverter. Okay. Getting some maps ready. What do you say, Finn? He's like, let's go do something. When we're at the cabin here, he doesn't go too far on his own, which is wise because coyotes have tried to call him out before. And so he kind of hangs around and he looks forward to when it's walk time or adventure time. All right. That's it for now. Taking you to the stop sign in the middle of nowhere. Been picking pine mushrooms out of that spot for 25 years plus. Watch your little head. Watch your little head, Finnegan. I'm not sure if the stop sign is still here, actually. But that mountain up in the distance is where we're going hunting. Let's see if I can... You can just see it. Anyway, we're going in here. The stop sign's in the middle of nowhere is gone. Alright, so it's very sandy here. This is the last kind of thing you would think mushrooms grew in, but these mushrooms like this. I'm going into a well-known patch of mine here, so we'll be able to know if they're here or not pretty fast. Alright, let's hop up. It's a really windy day. There's a big forest fire burning down West Branch Valley. Anyway, weather stuff. So here we are. Now, pine mushrooms grow in kind of two different ways. They grow in old growth pine, sandy soil, or they grow in old growth Douglas fir on the coast. There's some exceptions to that, but that's mostly where you're going to find them. This is a mushroom that doesn't really do well in second growth and stuff unless it's well established. I mean, obviously this is kind of second growthy. But these small trees are actually still quite old. Fire rips through here once in a while and kills stuff. So essentially how it works is you want to look for what we call a flag, and a flag is a mushroom that you can see, pine mushroom you can see, and from there you kind of follow the arc that they grow in to find some more mushrooms. But guys, it looks pretty Deadsville. Pretty Deadsville. Been too dry out here, maybe not enough frost. See, it's just pure sand. There's really no mushrooms, nothing. Some people think that you need a little bit of frost, a couple frosts to get the sap retreating down the tree towards the roots where the mycelium is attached. And that starts the, the sap's moving, let's get some fruiting bodies up, mushrooms. Okay, well that was a bit of a drive for nothing, but it's fun to be in the woods, eh, Finn? So yeah, this is actually the patch of mushrooms right here where I'm walking, which started Untamed Feast, believe it or not, because Michelle and I, we were just dating at that point. We were up here picking pines, and we're going to take them to sell them to the cash buyer up in Anaheim Lake. And the price went from $50 a pound when we got in here to my trap cabin, and went all the way to like $1 a pound. And so I rented a beer and wine cooler at the fridge, big cooler. Kept them there for a while, and the price just kept going down from $1 a pound. So we washed all the mushrooms. This is one of the few mushrooms you'd wash, full of sand, right? Sliced them, dried them all. That's gonna be windy. On some chicken wire, in the nice, beautiful fall sun wind, and started peddling dried mushrooms, and that was the beginning. And now, it's hard to believe, from this little patch of woods right here. I tell you, you couldn't start a business from this little patch of woods right now. Maybe in a few weeks. My dad has picked pines with me here. My wife Michelle, my daughter Mila. Got family memories here. My dad passed last year. He was an awesome human being to me. Not to everybody, but to me. So yeah, as I walk through here, I can hear his voice and him showing little Mila when she was just little how to pick pine mushrooms. And he had to cut down a tree in here once to make a stick, like just a popping stick. So you stick it down in the dirt and pop the mushroom up. And little Mila didn't want him to cut one that was alive. You know, he just needed a little thing like this. Just wanted to save the trees. Kids are awesome. Okay, there's no mushrooms out here, guys. There's a lot of wind. There's also a lot of wild horses. A lot of wild horses up here. This is an area where they like to play in. When I was telling you that story about the deer, when I pulled in last night in the dark to that meadow to begin processing that deer, there was a whack of them, whack of wild horses. They used to be a little harder to find. Now they're really quite abundant, which is super awesome and neat. I mean, for me, I don't know if it causes problems to ranchers or what. Maybe they eat up a lot of the hay on the range, the natural hay and grasses that the ranchers want for their cows. I don't know. Okay, we're out of here. I'm sorry I can't show you how the pine mushrooms grow, but you'll just have to trust me. They grow in here, and you'll be able to find other videos on my channel where I'm actually in this same spot picking them. All you're gonna see is like a bump like that, and you find a mushroom, and then you stick your stick down and pop it up and clean it off. It's beautiful up here right now. The big forest fire going and a bunch of wind, though, there is just a small sense of you can see that smoke behind me. Would it be heightened awareness, or would it be like, you know, your hackles are up just a little bit, so to speak? So it's not like super chill, calm, relaxing. We got a big forest fire down there. It's kind of windy. I don't really like the wind. All right, well, that'll be it for this. Cheerio. This is what it's like in the other direction. All the smoke is building up. Sky. Lots and lots of grouse on the road today. I think Finnegan will get to eat one. Not today, I can't be bothered today, but maybe when we're back up out of the mountains, I'll kill a grouse, feed it to him. He'd like that. Getting a little darker. Gotta head down and see John about that radio before we leave tomorrow. Make sure I've got the channel for the search and rescue and for got saddle air services on there. There's a cool lookout spot just up ahead. Here's a grouse. Do you want to get him, Finn? You can try. We'll get him. Oh, he went the wrong way. You didn't see him. Come here. You missed him. Come here. You missed him. Up, up. Good boy. This is some willow bark that I've been aging and curing for Marty to smoke in his pipe. It smells really good. And it probably burns like tobacco. We'll check it out. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Good boy. I got the RPM gauge just tacked out apparently. I guess that's not working. All right. It's gonna be, might be smoky down below. Yeah, here's a, you can see it. There's a spot right up ahead here. Just hang on. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. There's a little viewpoint. We can windy, gusty, blustery. All right. Okay, Finn, let's get on. Let's get up. So, you can see how the smoke is coming out of the valley there. That's Perkins Peak. So this whole mountain range here is Hidden Valley, where I like to go up. That was Dad's old ski cabin country, and I mean, it's probably not great hunting. We didn't get anything in there last year, but just kind of got my roots in there, or I have some roots in there. And that's the Clean Valley. So you got this one peak there, that's called Finger Peak. And this trip, we're going up, hiking up Nagwan and going along the ridgeline a little bit and dropping back in. There's some lakes and stuff back up in behind right about there. Not this first, obviously not this first thing, the big mountain range in the back. Go up Nagwan and over and down in there. Yeah, really settling down. Smoke will be settling down into Tatla Lake there. We're going over there. But today, I gotta go down there, deal with the radio. Come on, dude. All right. So the boys finally showed up. I wanted to show you, I planted those 13 starters of sweet flag. We've got a little sweet flag tea going. I've made a lovely cornbread with cheese on top. Got some, I didn't make Jamaican meat pies in the wood oven. And they're just out that way setting up some targets to shoot in their rifles. But I want to show you. So I was told this stuff will grow wherever what's it called? You know, your hot dog on a stick, your oh God, you know the stuff I mean. It'll come to me. So here they are. Boop, 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 boop. So they're just in here in a little patch. Cattail is the word I'm looking for. There is no cattail here. I don't know, actually, as I was thinking about it today, I don't know why there is no cattail here. But there isn't. Maybe it's too high altitude. I don't know, but anyway, 13 plants it happened to be, and 13 is a very auspicious and lucky, wonderful number in First Nations, and this is a First Nations medicine, like 100%. So may this little patch flourish. Maybe I'll cut down some of this stuff. Maybe because these leaves smell like, I mean, they smell like orange creamsicles. They taste like orange creamsicles. It's amazing. Maybe it'll just get gobbled up by a moose, like, right away. I don't know. But pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to see what happens here. Beautiful evening in this direction. That direction is full of smoke. You can't tell right now. Also, seemed cute at the time. I'm gonna fire this baby up. It's actually fairly cool in here in the morning. September 15th. These guys got a big fancy truck. Big fancy, I guess that's a GMC Duramax AT4 heavy duty, blah blah blah. Don't feel bad if you don't have that. I don't have that. I got this old piece of shit 2006 F-150, and I backed into some stumps when I was getting firewood. It's got 340,000 kilometers on it. I kind of rebuilt the engine by myself in the garage, and I don't know. Sometimes a little bit of an adventure is more fun than the alternative. Still some cleanup to do around here. Where we got the water flowing. Things are airing out. The deer hide, the chairs Dad made. The carpet's airing out. The bear is airing out. And you might think like I killed that bear and made a rug out of it. Would actually never do such a thing. That was a gift. I don't even eat bear, but I want to one day. My friend Kevin tells me it's pretty good, pretty fatty. I remember when these trees were tiny, when they were wee. Call this the SPP patch, the Stephen Porter patch. We trimmed these up. God, it was 20 years ago, and look at the size of those things now. It's incredible. Finnegan has had dinner, but hope springs eternal. We're going to the mountains tomorrow, Finnegan. It's crazy cool. You're gonna love it, as always. Spruce cones have seeds that are like little helicopters. Oh, they all blew away. Just wait a sec. Oh, the wind picked up. See? Oh, there, look at them come. Oh, sometimes they stay hovering for a long time. Oh, yeah. Little helicopters. Beautiful. kind of carved out a spot using the hatchet to cut some branches in behind this tree here. The boys are doing the same. That's Charlotte Lake way down there. It was an absolutely brutal hike in. Access was a bloody nightmare. And it's too windy to like make a hot thing to eat, so. But it's awesome to be out here with friends, and I think the wind will die down at some point. And got a $1 million view, of course. Oh my god, that was such a hard hike. I've been going all day. I think it's 8 o'clock. And I mean, the boys there were up at 4, sighting in their rifles. I didn't get up till 7 or 8. I'm just packing a shotgun to protect the dog. We're aiming to get back in there. We're just waiting for the guys to catch up. They're back there somewhere looking at stuff through binoculars. Man, what a rough night it was last night for everybody. Just a windy, cold, overtired, oversore ache. And it's chilly. It's all good. Stay right. Or not. That worked out.
I just saw the rocks, saw the vision. Oh, look at this fish.
What, some fresh deer action?
Yeah.
I carried him. All right, there's quite a number of these things. There hasn't been much mushrooms in the alpine since we got here. These I don't recognize. But they could be fried chicken mushrooms. I've just never really picked that mushroom. See how they smell here. They smell pretty good. Unfortunately, it's just not one in my repertoire. If it is fried chicken. If it is fried chicken, I mean, something else is eating it there. Oh, 70 pounds on my back here, but so here's a bunch more. You guys let me know what you think that is. Spore print is white. Oh, my guess is fried chicken, but I don't know. Anyways, I gotta catch up with the boys here. Let's catch up. It's a lot of getting up while it's still dark, freezing your ass off, and looking for stuff. They're super hard to see. We did see some does. Now the sun is up and we are slowly thawing our bones. There's 3 doe way up in that, hidden in the trees by that meadow. And I spotted a grizzly rolling some rocks around just up in there, and our plan is to go up there. So we may get some more grizzly action. Like it or not. The grizzly was up there. These old ice sheets are really interesting to me because it's on the north facing side, and this time of year they've melted more than they're as much as they're gonna. And if more glaciers and more ice packs on north facing side slopes like this are melting at an increased rate due to global warming and all that stuff, some of this ground hasn't been exposed for could be thousands of years. So I like looking along it. I found a pair of caribou antlers in an area last year by one of these that there hasn't been caribou in those mountains in a long time. So see Finnegans just on a mission, hunting some stuff. Maybe I'll see something neat, like maybe like a ruby the size of my fist. You never know. Hey, let's go. Come on. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Good boy. Come on. Come on, let's go. Grizzly. Excuse me, Mr. Finnegan. Saw some caribou up in there this morning. Saw a big old grizzly bear. Finnegan found a chipmunk today. Very exciting. The grizzly's over there. So, this morning, I had a great sleep last night because I dug a hole under the tent, had a rock in the fire, put the hot rock down in the ground, covered it back up with sand, the rock's down about 10 inches. And it was like having in-floor heating. It was incredible. And it was a much needed sleep. We're just going for a hike here, but Finnegan's kind of got a little owie on his paw, and he of course doesn't, he's cold, so he's gonna be my little papoose. And I wanted to share that I found some yesterday when we came to this camp spot. I found an amanita just over there. And today walking out, we got one here. And then another one here. These guys really call to me, they've been speaking to me for years, and I knew I'd find one around the campsite. Just had a feeling, and of course didn't see any the whole way in here. And then there's 3 of us, and there happens to be 3 amanitas here. So, you get to thinking about things like, well, if you were a braver man, each of you would eat one and be guided by the spirits in what you're trying to do out here. For me and Finn, we're just hiking. The boys, they're hunting. But super, super cool. Wanted to share that. It's gonna be an interesting day. Obviously we had some snow and it's cold, and that's how it is. There's lots of sun on the old noggin. We were at the base of that mountain there and up in behind it and whatever. Just heading back now, but wanted to show you a piece of wood that probably nobody but me will ever see. This is, of course, an old pine tree that eventually succumbed to fire. Fire rips through these valleys every once in a while, a few hundred years or longer. This thing is so stunning, so beautiful, and it's just rock hard because things grow so slow up here. The rings and the colors. You know, it's just fantastic. You got one that made it here, still hanging on. This guy here, there's kind of a little cave through there, Finnegan. You would like that. Let's put you through there. There is 6 caribou sitting in there. There's one dog sitting right here. A couple humans sitting right there. Stunning. We'll end on Mr. Finn. Mr. Finn. Yeah.
Top right, kind of?
Right in the middle of the meadow. Like a little bit right of the middle.
Yep.
The big white rock.
Yep.
And come down to that point of timber. Then follow the timber left to that small tiny rock. Very white rock. Right above the timber line.
Yep.
And there's 2 things right beside it. Nothing. They're like, there's a taller tree in the timber line where it cuts away, and then that white rock, and right between those 2 things.
It kind of looks like it looks like 2 dark spots of water.
Carry on.
Mama and baby, just beautiful. So we were just up above them, up in there, and they came over, saw us, went down below. And then there's 2 big grizzlies over there. We're going back to our camp.
BC hunter, so you'd be on it. Why would I be on it? We're doing this kind of shit.
Well, we're all doing it, first of all. Second of all, We have not shot a deer or even seen a buck.
Way down in the valley there. Way down there. We left at 5 a.m. in the dark. What is it? 2 hours in. We're going up over a ridge that's hidden in the clouds. Oh, we're all seeing this for the first time. We're finally up over this ridge. Probably must be like, I don't know, on hour 3 or something. And it's quite spectacular. Finnegan is the first Chihuahua to ever come up over Finnegan Pass. Right, bud? Yeah, it's a good boy. Oh. Well, okay then. This is the Lost Valley of Marty. Me and Jay are hoping he doesn't see a fucking deer down there. That's a long ways down.
This is my Google Earth vision, and it's a big country. There's no fucking day hunting down there today.
All right. Finnegan at the top of Finnegan Pass. He's pretty cold today, and no breakfast yet. We're at Finnegan Pass, so we were just looking down in the valley over there, and now we're hiking out. We'll spend the day hunting. Yesterday we were all way up in there. Day before we were way up all in there. Our camp is kind of down on this first lake. Let me see. Our camp, well, where our tents are. And we did manage to get a nice spot down in there by this lake. We're just gonna feel it out. Right, Finn? It's a good boy. It's a good boy, Finnegan. It's cold up in here in Finnegan Pass. These are the only Chihuahua, the first Chihuahua and the last Chihuahua that will ever be here, I think. There's Finnegan Pass. There's a couple goats up in there. Caribou from yesterday were over in there. Mountain breed specialty Specialty Chihuahua breed. Yeah, bred for the mountains. It's a good boy. It's a good boy, Finnegan.
Maybe
Are
from
you
this
gonna move,
angle.
or what's your plan, bud? Come on.
Somebody's tired.
You see this?
Get yourself some nice rocks. Heat them up in the fire the first night so you know they're not going to explode. And get them in the fire. Get them red hot. Get yourself like a prong stick or something so you can move them. Dig yourself a pit. It's going to be under your tent. About 10 inches deep or so. My tent isn't here at the moment. I'll put the hot rocks in, put all the sand over top, slide the tent back over. This will be at my body mass, and it's like in-floor heating. You will love it. Just make sure you have enough dirt between you and the bottom of your tent. Trust me on this one. This one here looks hard to believe that it could be, but that is a Boletus edulis. King bolete. Way up here at 2,000 meters. It'll be wormed out completely. Ooh, but not right there. Yeah, that's incredible. Didn't know such a thing be possible.
I just had some deer flies.
What'd you have?
Actual flies.
Flies, because the mushroom is here. So we got a legal 4-pointer bigger buck that we're stalking after some serious hard hiking, making our way back towards home, if you will. Got into some nice country, and we're still a day and a half out from the truck, but 800 yards over in that timber. There's no way you're going to be able to see him. Basically, anyway, out there, there's the legal buck. So Marty's gone sneaking around. Might take him a couple hours to get on the right side of the wind of him and stuff. I've never been on a big mule deer hunt, although I kind of grew up eating moose and venison because Dad did all the hunting and stuff. I never went with him. So this is pretty exciting. This is like my first legit deer hunt. Some guys who know what's going on. Finnegan is chilling. He's just chilling. He's like in a perfect world. In a perfect world, he's going to be eating a little bit of deer heart with the boys tonight. That would be so cool for a little mountain chihuahua. Don't you chase it. Yeah. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Alright, I'll save the last bit of this phone juice for some potentially exciting things. So, burned a little smudge as Marty was hiking up to, sneaking up, stalking that 4-point. It was a good clean kill. Worthy animal for a worthy man. It was good. Burning a little more diamond willow now in thanks to that animal's life. Big, beautiful animal. I'd rather not put it on film just because, you know, just imagine a big, beautiful 4-point mule deer. And so, yeah, job well done. Now the real work begins getting it out of here. But super thankful for this animal's life on this beautiful day in this beautiful spot. And awesome. You know, sad and awesome at the same time. Hard to kind of describe, actually, but we'll pack all of this meat out and respect it. Finnegan wasn't too excited about the whole thing. It was like, whatever. You know, I was stroking the deer's head as its life was leaving its body slowly, and Finnegan was just kind of like, oh yeah, yep. I thought was interesting too. Alright, that's it for now. Well, we've each got about 80 some pounds on. A lot of side hill rock. Marty, he's got well over 100 because, well, it was his deer, his kill. Feeling good. Glad I've been working out the last couple of years because the guy weren't in shape. He definitely couldn't do this. So feeling really blessed about my health. This here is the Clean Valley. That's Finger Peak. Down at the bottom is Wheeler Bottom, where Snow Owl and Huddy and those guys all grew up. A guy climbed up there once and lit fireworks off on the top of that mountain. It's in the middle of nowhere, but some people were out here in those days. That's all Hidden Valley. That's where we hunted last year. That's where I kind of grew up skiing and stuff with my sister and my mom and dad. His dad's old ski guiding country in there. This runs all the way to the coast, takes a corner and goes to Night Inlet. This will probably be the end of the video because I'm pretty low on juice, so I'm basically out, and we're out of water now. We're packing a lot of weight and we're just kind of going until we find water, or we kind of got to keep going because we have no way to cook our meals or whatever. And you'd think there'd be some down there, but you can't even squeeze a drop out of the moss, it seems like. This is a south facing slope, so more talus rock to climb through. It's about 6:30 at night, 7. So we're still going here. It's almost headlamp time. Lots and lots of weight on. You might call it pretty scenic. It's pretty dangerous with all this weight. took us like 13 hours to get into where we are now when we first got in here. And then we hiked another 2 days into the mountains behind us. And then Finnegan Pass is way, way up further. That day we got up at 4 in the morning, left at 5, but we'll get off this rock scree. It's been this crap all day. This is good hunting in here, but as you know, we already have one. And time to put on the headlamps. And we're either gonna push on. We managed to find a spring back there as we're all out of water. So we've kind of watered up now. And so we can actually stop anytime. But we might put the headlamps on, go over this ridge, and then it's probably 5 hours downhill back to the truck, and that's gonna be real 4, 5, 6 real cheese and rice. 4, 5 snakes. It's gonna be like that. Little hips rocking and rolling like some old weighted down mule through the Grizzlies. Dripping meat from your pack. I love it.
Well, we didn't make it all the way back to the truck. Shut her down around midnight, hey boys? Yeah. Just too much of this deactivated crap for miles to crawl through with way too much weight on our backs. We were stumbling around in the dark with headlights for way too long, and this became home. We're having a little breakfast and we'll finish her off now. Signing off. Everyone's as sore as this little guy.
The biggest hike I've ever seen a dog do. You did.
Good boy.
Oh,
All right. So we're out here on our way back to the cabin. We checked here a week ago. And here it is. This is your #1 Matsutake pine mushroom. You don't get much in order to find them. You're right down in there. These guys grow in the sand. Pop them out. It's like that.
it's a button. It's a huge button, hey?
It's a small chilcotin button.
Oh, it's a small chilcotin.
That's what they look like. Have a smell.
I can't wait. Smells good.
You got kind of a cinnamony, dirty underwear, cinnamon kind of thing going on.
Something that would go well with deer heart.
Oh yeah.
Bacon.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great. Let's find like 10 more of these, put them in the pan.
All right, so just as a little finisher here, let's stop close to the, I don't want to say exactly where I am, but close to the Alberta BC border, and we're in another sandy pine ground. Okay, so in here you've got your typical slippery jacks, slippery gills. You're gonna have your Suillus tomentosus. That's like another Suillus species. But it's this. Here you go. Here's your. These ones kind of stain blue, Suillus. So you can eat them dried. They're actually pretty good dried up. This is, of course, like you're going to find in any pine forest in Alberta or BC. This is your yellow rusula. Not really worth eating. So yeah, I'm just off the side of the highway, but this is also where you're going to find pine mushrooms this time of year. So same as out where I showed you there before. Another rusula. Come on, Finn. Where I showed you there before around Clean. Oh, name drop there in the sand dunes. Pine mushrooms. Now these are not pine mushrooms. These ones are actually really cool. This is called a sheep's polypore, or sheep's head polypore. I don't really remember. Don't really remember the Latin. They're probably quite medicinal, and as far as I recall, they're fairly edible too. Not super common mushroom for you to find. But again, you got this sandy ground, kinnikinnick, reindeer moss. Obviously there's a mushroom population. The pines, they kind of like to come out after there's been a frost or two. I didn't realize there's a trail here. It's got footprints and stuff on it. Must be some kind of hiking trail. So yeah, lots of russulas. So we're gonna have a little peek through here and see if there are any pine mushrooms. I'm gonna get off the trail, not because I think there's a bunch of mushroom pickers here, but because that's the way I roll. I don't really want to be picking pine mushrooms in this kinnikinnicky reindeer moss. I want full-on needle bed, pine needle bed. Come here, Finn. Finnegan. I also don't want grass. So I'm going to keep walking until I find a spot where it's not grassy, it's not kinnikinnicky, it's just pine duff. It almost looks like a larch bolete. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Although I don't see any larch right here. Maybe there is one around. I'm gonna call that a larch bolete, but I don't really know. This is the worst stuff for ticks, by the way. Those of you guys who are worried about ticks on your dogs and stuff, this small juniper stuff, ticks love that. Come here, Finn. Come on, bud. Where are you, Finn? Finn. Here he comes. Come on, Finn. So you want to check your dog if you're coming through, and check the back of your neck if you're coming through this scrubby juniper. Okay, I'll shut this off, and once I find some more kind of ground what I'm looking for, which I think is going to be up in here, I'll turn it back on. All right, just when I was about to give up, this is what we call a flag. So this flag is showing you where there are other pine mushrooms, or that there'll be some in here potentially in a ring. Okay, so this is what a pine mushroom looks like, and it smells beautifully cinnamon-like. And if you squeeze the stem, squeeze it quite hard, and if it kind of snap, crackle, pops on you, it's got worms, which is fine for eating, but not for selling or anything. But now we're looking, now we're feeling for friends, we're feeling for bumps. And if you kind of get down on the ground and look, like something took one from here. Okay, here you go. There's a button. It's going to be another button, and by button I mean the veil's closed. You can't see the gills, right? Now I like to just leave them on top of the ground, or not fully dig them out until I feel like I've found the whole set. You can see the little flies around. It's another indicator. In the grading of Matsutake, if you were selling fresh, this is kind of what's called a number 5. This one's actually wormy in the stem, but it's got brown gills. It's very low quality. This one, same, maybe a 4. As they go down in number, as their quality and their structure's still intact. So this one's wormy, but that'd be like a number 2 if it was nice, because it's just got a partial broken veil. That's a number 1, but you can hear that it's wormy. And you've got, you know, like this one here is probably like a number 3. Well, 3 would have a partial veil still. These are all good eaters. So then you're just going to spend lots of time here. Lots of time checking things out. You look over there, that's not the right mushroom, that's a rusula. Where are we? We're just in the timber and the duff of a dry hillside, sandy. What do we got here? There's a bump right here. Okay, there's another one. And you've got some animals that have taken some. So this is your ring. That's your ring of matsutake. Right around this tree. It's at the edge of the roots of where this tree reaches, where the mycelium's got a connection with the tree. You can kind of keep poking around. There's 2 somethings under here. Older pine. Another older pine. So then you're gonna pick all these up, cover back your duff, so it looks like no one was ever here. You can hear the train there. Again, we're not far off the road. And so that's how you pick and find pine mushrooms, matsutake. I hope you've learned something. I hope you enjoyed coming along on the hunt for the mule deer. And, you know, it was fun making this film. I'm gonna go home now. I'm not too far away.